This week in action.
Maniac!
Could be something. Talk to the developers.
Are you playing with my emotions?
Let's get sad and then
Too good to be true.
that's not what they did here. When's the money go in? What other horror stories could come with this?
We love Tencent.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Action Podcast 36. My name is Aaron. I'm the owner and operator of the YouTube channel Action RPG. And with me is two of my friends, two of my channel leaders, the people that truly run the channel, Daft and Guilty. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's happening, people?
Heyo!
And today, as always, we have a great show planned for you that we've been talking about throughout the week. Now, I'm sorry that we're a little late. I'm sorry that, I had no time to get it, like all this crap and building my new system. And look, I got stuff. I should move the camera around. There's boxes and plastic and all kinds of stuff everywhere. That being said, working a full 8-hour job, dealing with the wife who's amazing, helping the kids, which I have a lot of. We have made it to this point. We have made it to the point where it is assembled. I can't show you the other side because the other side looks like a wasp's den. Okay, so you can't look at that. But
Aaron doesn't know zip tie.
ooh, so
Yeah, look at
pretty with
Where are we
blinky lights.
Oh, I thought you were going to go plain.
Okay, so
No
this was the
light.
plan. Okay, so my last computer is very blinky. It's like unbelievably blinky. It's all white and very RGB. And I said, I'm so done with RGB. I'm done with all the wires. I'm done with trying to figure out which software works with which crap. And I'm done with it. I'm going to make an entire blackout system. Been saying that for a long time. Okay. And then once I got the sponsorship, and then when I decided that the computer is going to be behind me in every single video, and some other sites decided to make it blinky again. Lex, what's up? Drazzy, what's up? So that's kind of what happened, in case you're curious.
Yeah, you're filling out your background. You got that awesome painting up in the corner. You got some little gadgets and doohickeys on the other side.
Well, this table is only here. This table's only here because I'm recording as I'm building, which that video is going to be a freaking disaster.
Enjoy editing that.
Oh my god. So I've been trying to like get rid of the bad footage, keep the stuff that makes it look like I know what the hell I'm doing, and trying to like, so I just figure I'll time lapse it at 20% so it looks like I'm doing stuff when really I'm just dancing, and then, you know, we'll just kind of leave it at that. But anyways, by the end of the week, the new studio should be done. I actually have a new rug coming in. We got a little pedestal. We're going to do some stuff with the background, and it should be really, really nice. All things, if that computer actually posts into Windows. So yeah.
That would be exciting tension.
Yeah. Will you be putting it
Good live stream.
below the painting?
Yeah, well, so I don't know. That's the initial idea.
Right.
Or we're going to like spread the shelves and then one on one side, one on the other. We're going to try and figure it out. Because where my desk is right now, it's going to pull out. And then my wife's going to have her spot in the corner. So we're going to try and figure it out where we can have two systems in here. But I want my desk to be closer to the wall so you can see everything.
So closer back, you're going to push yourself.
Basically,
closer.
just like your guys' setup. Also, maybe a little farther.
You're going to have a guitar?
This wall behind me is about 3 feet.
Yeah, and maybe that's about right. 3 or 4 feet. Enough where you could see the two shelves and the painting and the computer. So wherever that spot is.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. And then I could always use the spot like right behind my head because I normally never like that, even though my chair's there. I'm also getting a new chair. Anyways, enough with my studio.
All the upgrades.
Enough with my computer. It's no big deal. Let's talk about video games. Guilty, you ever played a video game before?
Games. But
No.
you play a game with me.
Exactly. And
I still bet I play Monopoly.
today, we're going to talk about the big three. Now, Aaron, what big three? My big three. What are that? Last Epoch, Torchlight Infinite, and Undecember.
Aaron,
What?
Battlefield.
Drazzy's saying he can't hear the two Guilty and I as well.
Turn us up.
Yeah.
You are... Okay, I turned you guys up. Now say something.
Donkishin.
Hello, is it better now?
Should be better now. Is there any way to make the sound on Daft and Guilty a bit louder? You know what I could do too? I could turn myself down because I tend to overcompensate for myself.
Currently, I need to choose between going deaf when you talk or not hearing them.
Yeah.
I turned
That-
myself down and I turned them up. Hopefully
He
that
popped
helps.
back in and said that it helped a
Okay,
bit.
sweet. First segment. I want to start with the positive. Torchlight Infinite. And not only do I want to start with the positive, I just want to go straight to, the hot topic. I was going to say the drama. I don't know if it's really
Right.
drama.
It's
Guilty.
Not
Is
really.
Torchlight Infinite pay to win?
it will be like if you put like 1,000 hours into it and get all the stuff you can get.
Yeah.
That's my hypothesis. It's not been proven yet.
Which, if you're thinking about it, isn't like a great strategy because most players aren't going to go that far. Right.
I honestly think
your shelf life on any game. I mean, you could change all. For me, I'll change characters and kind of like gradually bring 2 or 3 different ones up. That said, if you have to get into the upper echelons to even start considering paying money, I mean, is that smart business wise? That's most players are gonna, put maybe 100 hours into it.
so. From the
Right?
get
I don't know.
go, Torchlight. Wow, they did reach out to us. They've reached out to everybody. Like this isn't
Yep.
a secret.
Right.
They say this on Twitter. They say it on all their platforms. We're making this game for people that play games, and we're listening to
Right.
the people that play games, and we're making the changes that our overlords allow us to make sure that this product is accepted by the community. And they've already made changes, like from the beta to what got released. There was some changes made. I honestly think that the people who would be on the upper ends of endgame, like on the charts, the actual competitive people would be the only ones that need to have the pet edge.
Right.
And for anyone else, it's just a gacha system. If you want to collect them, collect them.
Yeah, I agree.
I have spent $15 on Torchlight Infinite because I said I was going to get the battle pass. Okay. And I have not spent a cent on actual money, their whatever currency it is called that you could use towards pets.
Right.
I will say at least where I am currently at, which is tier 7 mapping of endgame, you can easily do that without spending a cent. Like, not even a question. And if you follow a build guide for Commander
Right.
Moto, if you follow a build guide for Berserker, you can clear everything the game has without spending a cent. And what I want to do is, by the time I am done with Season 1, I am going to run an endgame content, whether that's a tier 8 map, whether that's the Uber boss, with all my pets on, and then I'm going to do the exact same run with all of my pets off. And I'm just going to simply see how much power does the system actually get you. Because what I'm being told from the Torchlight moderators is you can do everything in the game without allocating a single pet point. And I want to test that. And I'm on the lowest, like, Carino is the worst character supposedly in the game. So I'm doing all that too
What?
on like the
Really?
C grade character.
I wouldn't. Okay, so
He's the
I
piston
wouldn't think
guy, right?
he
Yes.
was, but Thea, I would think, is at the top. I would also say that
Berserker
Moto's
is
at the
like
top.
Berserker's League of his own. Berserker's
That's
the
because of
S+ tier
Yeah, but that's
For
because
sure.
of his attack that separates into other attacks and just does a wave of destruction. They're gonna nerf that.
But I mean, right now,
Right.
yeah. Lazy Koala Bear, yo, found your Twitch from YouTube. More power, sir. Aaron, thanks for the informative videos. Well, thanks for coming over to Twitch. Glad you like
Thanks
it.
for hanging out.
Wait till I get this thing up and running.
Oh, behind you? Oh, yeah.
I know, right?
Shinies.
Lazy Koala Bear says, I'm on tier 6 and I just started yesterday. I haven't spent a dime in the game and it's been a breeze with Moto since I main summoner in PoE. Very nice.
Keyword Moto.
Moto.
Guilty
You
and I
just
were
walk-
talking about
Commander Moto.
my Moto character that I made as my second character after the mage, and it's destroying the campaign. The mage did pretty good.
We
Just-
had
just destroying it.
well, Daft, myself, and probably a dozen people from the community. He recrafted Moto builds.
Drazzy says, that's not going to make any difference if your pets aren't the highest grade / impact ones to start with. Yeah, but again, if I could do all content without pets, okay?
Right.
I mean, who cares? You know, at that point, like, what's it matter? Now, I
So-
will say, this is news, not really hot off the press, but at least we heard it. It was a rumor, and now it has been confirmed by XD, the Torchlight developers.
What's
All
that?
pets that you accumulate through the season and for all following seasons
Yeah.
stay with you.
Good.
That's-
I would hope.
A surprise?
I'm surprised. I am absolutely shocked.
But will they
Yeah,
be
but-
useful in the next season?
Well, of course they're going to be useful because
Well,
they have general affixes, mana regen, attack
yeah,
speed. You know, I mean,
But maybe what Guilty's point is, they might make even more intangible, like ones you want more because they're a little better or they have specific niches that they fit.
I have a theory.
As a
'cause
build.
It's a growing story. So if you start, you're going to have to start from the beginning of the story and you're going to have to play through the entire story.
Right.
So I would suggest everyone just to keep up with it if you intend on playing with it. Because if I'm right, then you're going to have a lot of catching up to do eventually.
but it is a one-day
sure.
campaign if you're a speedrunner. And that's not
Yeah,
even knowing
until
anything about the
They
just
release
follow
multiple.
just follow the
Right.
arrow. It's a one-day campaign. Not for Daft. Daft it's longer, but
Nah, we have a couple
Not-
people
not
on
with
Discord
Moto.
that are flying through the game. Well, with my Moto character, once I hit like 17 or level 17, I
through.
just flying through the campaign after that, just like a llama. In comparison to the mage, so it is class like that class just destroys the game because you rarely get attacked, so you're rarely dealing with anything but massive hits that you just actively avoid while your minions run around and you just throw off your like buffs, buff, teleport, boom, buff.
man,
buff,
those
teleport,
minions
boom.
are so fast too. They're like aggressively scary. When I made my Moto video,
Yeah.
I put iRobot as the intro for when they turn red and are murdering everyone, because that's what it reminds me of.
You can make them really fast.
I've seen them. I have seen
Oh,
them very
It
fast.
just
Kinda-
warps. It's just warping.
I want to test out the other version where you can make like one mega. Like you get one, there's one, instead of getting a bump, you just have one, minion that's just massive.
It's like
and super
Archmage for Last Epoch. You only get one. Do you
Right.
want 6 or do you want 1?
One. Right.
Now-
yeah, it's that whole, yeah.
Before we
I like
move on to anything else, me and Drazzy have talked about this in my streams on Torchlight Infinite. Pets carrying from season to season. This is good for the free-to-play player because you could probably get, I'm going to guess, about 40 free pulls. So if you're a free-to-play player, you get about 40
Yeah.
free pets. And then the next season you get another 40, and the next season you have another 40. And by the time you've played the game a few years, you probably have some maxed out, rare, epic, couple of legendaries, right? Which is
Yeah.
good, because that means that you could get the stuff without paying. It's not hidden behind a paywall. On the flip side to that, Drazzy's point is that makes it more pay to win, because that means the people with the better pets have an advantage day one on the season than the new player, because now I've
Sure.
got tier 6 pets,
Not
even though I
exactly.
haven't bought them, compared to Guilty, who's a
So-
day one player.
So here's the thing. Their story is going to be continuing, right?
Right.
And I would assume with each new season, there's new end game mechanics, stronger enemies, stronger whatever. And the pets that you're using have the weaker affects from the season before, and you're going to need the new pet for the current season. That seems to be what they would probably do. So while you could probably use it, the better one will still be what you're going for.
I can't disclose who or the outcome of the conversation, but someone that is decent level at XD was having a conversation with me. And basically what they said is a tier 6 blue pet, a common pet, whatever they're called. The one you get almost every time.
Pretty much.
Which everybody will be able to get for free. A tier 6 highest grade base pet would destroy a tier 1 legendary pet. So in that instance, is it pay to win? And what I said is that you can't compare that. You have to compare a tier 6 regular pet to a tier 6 legendary pet. Right. And then what's that difference look like?
I can see the argument though, because the blues, like we were saying, you get them all the time. So the chance of you being able to build up to tier 6, because all you have to do is get the same one and then copy it, right? And then you kind of
you need it 6 times. It's not like you need 2, then 4, then 5. You just need it 6 times to get it to tier 6.
But for a legendary, to get that specific legendary on top of any other legendary that you could get in that pool, I think it then at that point becomes like, okay, well, I can buff up. So what I would do personally is have 2 that I had, and maybe an off one, and my blue one would be the one I'd pump all the 6, try to get it up. While the legendary is probably just going to sit at that same level for forever, unless you decide to go into the money. So that's where the money comes in. Then you're just chucking your money out there hoping for a random, and it's probably worse than Vegas levels of it's not going to happen anytime
I don't
soon,
know.
so
I've got a feeling, and I could be completely wrong. I have no numbers, that they're making more money on the battle passes right now than the gacha system. I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, I would, unless there's someone streaming that particular part, I'd say you're right.
Because they carry with you season to season, because you get so many free ones. Right. I feel like everybody I've talked to pretty much has said, "Oh, I got the battle pass. $15, whatever. Yeah, I got it. Right. I want to support them." I haven't heard a single person, unless they're ashamed and don't want to say it, saying, "Oh yeah, I spent some money. I pulled 10 pets." I have not heard that. I have not heard that.
No pulling of pets.
This go around, I haven't spent a dime. Not even for the pet. I haven't even got the battle pass. Versus when Aaron did DI and I did DI, I put money in and he did not.
Right.
0.
Yeah,
God, I hated Diablo Immortal.
I actually put about $40 into it. So
I'll say that Torchlight feels funner than Immortal does. Even
my gosh, that is
outside of this conversation about the monetization.
Now this is the conversation when I stream that I get asked 40 times. It's like every 2 minutes someone joins. Is this pay to win? Is this mobile garbage? Is this another Diablo Immortal? I've gotten that question probably without exaggeration 100 times. Actually, probably more than 100 times.
Probably more than that.
And this is what I always say, like, there's so many definitions of pay to win. And I'll go through all the different ways you can customize your character inside of the game. And then I end with the gacha system. And if your definition of pay to win is there is a system inside of the game where I can swipe a credit card and get stronger, then yes, this game is pay to win because it has that mechanic through the pet system. But the question is, how much does that pet system actually dictate power? And how much do you need it? So, for example, Undecember. Hoser's playing Undecember right now, and he's trapped on Act 10 because he can't kill the boss. So he has to go back.
And buy something.
But that's what they do. They scale the game to make it as difficult as possible because the only way you can get through it, pony up the dough.
That is a really boring grind.
Oh, gosh.
It's a really good game. but a
It's
really,
really fun.
boring PoE style grind.
I figured the part where every time you level or go to the next set of merchants, just buy the gear and then, put magic on top of it. And then what I do is make my gear blue, all my gear blue, and then make my weapons yellow. Each time I've gone chapter to chapter, that's what I've done. And it's kind of taken away the sting of the level because I'm not holding on to like old weapons because it just raises up the base damage and the base protection or whatever. So I've done that and it's been pretty comfortable leveling my character in Undecember doing that. But the way they have their system set up is it's the opposite. It's not a seasonal game. They do have seasons of stuff they're giving away.
Yeah.
Right? Every 3 months they'll be giving away these things. So you have FOMO in that sense. Oh, I might not get that item. It probably comes back later, but you fear it won't. But ultimately everything you're buying is kind of permanent. It's kind of a trade-off, I guess. Right?
When you compare, when people are like,
didn't take the pets.
When people are like, hey, Diablo Immortal, Undecember, Torchlight, are they all pay to win? It's like, yes, all of them have systems of pay to win. And this is where it's always like, oh, Aaron, you're a Torchlight shill. Oh, you just say whatever. They're not in the same category. Like, unless you have played all three, beaten the game, know end game, know the monetization systems, which I have and know, Torchlight doesn't even deserve to be on the same list as those other two games.
No.
It's not even close.
No.
It's not even close.
So, we pointed out that Diablo Immortal and Undecember, or I like to call it every other month, they have the same system. They have the little like, oh, click this thing, click that thing, click that thing. Here's a flashy light. Which I also mentioned that I don't think Diablo Immortal was a design that came from Blizzard.
Right.
I believe they had another studio work on that.
Yeah, and then they refined it. They refined it because people found the UI in another game or some crap like that.
Well, because it was another game that they just pasted
borrowed a lot from.
No, it's like they switched out assets and
yeah.
Raven Crow 7 said, I actually got so mad on the last Undecember boss, I had to have a quick go to the doctor because I had a stress attack.
Whoa.
Might need to chill a bit.
Chill out. It's just a game, brother. Just play your games, but don't get stressed out. Ain't worth it. But yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
I know. A couple other things on Torchlight. We know that season mechanics will stick. So they want to take the PoE model of like, whatever that league mechanic is, will carry on to the next one. So Dark Surge will stay. And then every season they will add to that, which then adds more ongoing endgame systems, which I think's good. Until it gets like super bloated, right? But I think that's fine. I think that's fine for now. So,
no, I like that system. Just add in nooks and crannies. It's kind of like a DLC type vibe. You just, if the community likes it, they throw it in. If they're like, they get rid of it.
Daft, my question of the day.
Yes.
What do you prefer? Torchlight Infinite's visuals or Undecember's?
I'll say Undecember. I like both. They're very different aesthetically. I'm comfortable with the whole Torchlight thing. It's kind of a modified Torchlight, the Torchlight game. It's not quite the same as Torchlight was.
But it kind of falls in the same kind of cartoony.
It falls in the same group of like the style of it, but it's a different look. Yeah.
People call it comic book. People call it World of Warcraft
stylized.
Graphic. Yeah,
anything other than realistic.
Stylized.
Yeah,
stylized. Undecember's is just smoother looking. It's kind of closer to Wilson. But the overall presentation of the game in Undecember's, it's nice. It's the color palette's good. It's kind of like saying, do I like oranges or apples? They're both. I like both of them. But
if the orange was there and the apple was there and you're hungry, which one would you grab first?
I would lean
the orange or the
Undecember.
apple.
Yeah. It's funny because I do like the Torchlight thing, but I think the overall presentation in Undecember graphically is a little smoother than Torchlight Infinite. The game footage and the like art they have over it are slightly different. So
You noticed that too.
Yeah, there isn't as much of a meshing of the two, where in Undecember it's pretty seamless throughout.
I feel
That's the
like
only
if
thing.
we were making a T chart, positive and minus, I feel
Right.
like visuals, sound, maybe performance, Undecember gets that win. Guilty?
Definitely visuals and sound. Definitely visuals and sound. You and I talked about the because I have surround on, and you can, I think it's surround. Either that or it's really good stereo.
Right.
You
hear things in their position.
But it's the depth is there. Like the rain is where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Attacks are where they're supposed to be. Footsteps are where they're supposed to be. So whoever did the mixing in this game, good job.
Good mix job. Yeah, I agree.
With
like the
Torchlight,
overall presentation. Yeah.
well, yeah, but Torchlight, the sound is well, the game is not meant to be realistic, and the sound is. So, like with World of Warcraft, it's that style, or any kind of cell shaded, maybe what is that? The looter shooter with Claptrap.
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Those sounds aren't ultra realistic, but they match the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Whereas Undecember is kind of it's close to realistic as you're going to get, besides like Diablo 4 or something, or maybe what Path of Exile 2 is
If
gonna be.
Undecember wasn't pay to win, I know it sounds crazy because it would never happen in a million years. Axed PC or Axed Mobile dropped as a $60 retail game with everything included. So all the all the convenience, the tabs, all of that comes with the game. $60, everything that we would pay for now.
You mean they didn't pull any of that out?
No, just
I think Undecember, like literally, it's carving itself out on the ARPG mountain right now.
I said that. I said they made the best ARPG they could. Like,
And
maybe
just-
one of the best ARPGs, and then they took stuff out of it.
Yeah, Drazzy in chat saying all the way Undecember. Yeah.
They would lose
Undecember
money
as
if they.
Central Ravencrow.
Would they lose money if
But I guess
they
my
had-
question is, if they did that and went kind of the Lost Ark route, where it's like we're paying to get the game 3 days early, people would pay it.
$10,
If they
15 bucks,
paid
whatever.
for like an amazing cosmetic shop, I think people would pay it.
ELE style
I'm trying to think what other like. I guess maybe
DLCs, a la Grim Dawn.
maybe
Titan Quest.
you pay for only the stash tabs, you pay the retail cost of the game, and you pay all the premium cosmetics with a retail price. PC community would accept that, because anybody that gives crap about the stash tabs, they would point to PoE.
Right.
And I feel like maybe it's mid, maybe it's kind of lower on the ARPG mountain, but you're talking 10, 20, 30, actually I think 50, 80,000 players. Because right now there's no other game, right? Everyone's waiting last Epoch multiplayer. D4's next year. PoE 2, we're going to find out the beta release date end of next year, right?
Yeah.
And Undecember
PoE
had a
2
shot.
is just a DLC, so yeah.
And I feel like they squandered this opportunity. I don't know. Like, I just...
No, I think when I think of this market, we're upfront money. So all the money they could make, if they do the tactic they do now, they're going to make more upfront. But if they have the integrity to do the other way, the upfront money be slower. But because the game will develop this kind of culture and people will adapt to all the initial players, and they'll tell their friends, so you'll get over time in the second version a bigger expenditure if they keep developing it. But up front, which I think most of these companies now look, is how much can we get up front? And so that's why you get the shop thing. It's like get the money out of them
And
weekly and daily.
Undecember's been doing good. Obviously, it's been out a full year, right? So it's got an established player base, but its all-time peak right now, or its 4-day peak since it's launched globally, is 46,000. So 46,000 players. Its 24-hour peak is 38,000, and playing right now 17,000. Right? So,
Well,
Right.
you're forgetting mobile. Rotten
Right,
Gamers
for
is
sure.
right.
for sure, this is
They're gonna make
Steam.
the bulk of it off mobile, so we'll
Right.
Torchlight Infinite. Let's not forget that they were mobile games.
I know.
And it's easy
For a
for me to
reason.
forget because I absolutely abhor playing anything on my phone. I can't play anything on my phone. If I do, I end up putting it on BlueStacks on my computer. Kind of
Good old BlueStacks.
Right?
Well, we're at a new day where your phone can play a real game, and
it's
by
not
real
that
game, I mean a good game.
I'm not saying
Um,
it can't. But I guess it kind of harkens back to if I'm on one of the mobile type things from the old days, the old Nintendo systems and stuff you could have in your hand. So it's kind of like that, which I never was a fan of personally, even when that was a thing you could option between a console or a PC. Like consoles when I was a kid, and then once I moved out, it was strictly PC forward. I had a Dreamcast. Dreamcast was the last system I owned when I moved out of my parents' house, and I backpacked with it and go to my friend's house with my Dreamcast in my backpack. That said, since then I haven't put money into it until I had kids, and then started buying them the PS4s and the Xboxes, so they have them. I could use them, but I just haven't. I actually have a controller nowadays on my PC, which is new, because I play a lot of games that you have to use them pretty much. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's the phone thing. It is a thing, and I know I'm generationally different. So that's kind of like what a lot of people are into. So
I mean, I get it, right? Like, I could take my phone, get
yeah.
an HDMI, so now I'm watching it on my TV, and I got a controller on my phone, and I'm playing Torchlight or Undecember on my TV using a controller, right? I mean, technically, it would function that way. Resolutions might not be perfect, it might not be great, it might not look great, but somebody that wants to try out the latest and greatest ARPG could do so from the phone they already have and spend nothing, right? And there's I don't know how many people do that. I don't do that. But that is the market.
None of my kids do. One's like console. He plays console all the time, and my youngest son, he's console on his computer. So I don't know. He uses his cell phone for his Discord friends.
Hey, interesting. And I don't think you guys will be surprised about this, because I feel like us three are aligned that Undecember wins on visuals, but as far as actual fun factor, actual game, we lean Torchlight. Is that fair?
Yeah, to be specific, the skill system I find more appealing by leaps and bounds in Undecember.
It's
the
more
actual
of a puzzle.
gameplay is better in Torchlight.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, and I do like the skill system better, with the exception of slamming 160 links and having a 1 link. So, but luckily I'm on my way to 1500 when I get a free 6. So I guess I just got freaking God.
I know,
hate
but
that.
the skill system, it's more interesting. There's more of a kind of puzzle thing. You could go crazy meta and try to figure out the coolest layout, right? So that's its own mini game within the game. I totally dig that.
Drazi prefers the gameplay in Undecember.
Yeah, and people have different, and I get that. When I first played Undecember, I had a really good time. I like the visuals, like the sound, I like the cinematic, I like the skills, I like all that stuff. The more I play it, it's so hard to quantify soul of a game, fun factor, min-maxing, progressing, gear hunt. From that aspect, I personally like Torchlight, but I see where somebody would enjoy Undecember for sure.
They're different. The pacing is absolutely different.
Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. So, Undecember right now hit its high of 46,000 PC players the day that it dropped. The day
Okay.
that Torchlight dropped, its high for PC was 17,000. And Undecember has slowly pulled back. Has it pulled back a ton? No. But has it pulled back some? Yes.
Yeah.
And where do you think Torchlight went?
A little bit down.
It went up.
Well,
it went
did it
up.
now?
It's 24,
Wow.
or its all-time peak has pushed to almost 21,000 now.
And that the
Nice.
irony in this,
Isn't that
the
fun?
ir-
It's interesting.
the
Oh,
irony in this is when they released, like, do you remember when Torchlight did the release on Steam? They did it the day before. You could download the game
Yeah.
the day
Yes, they did.
before.
They were filthy.
got-
Yeah.
Annihilated in the comments, like when people were putting down, it was like the most negative you can get in Steam. Like it was just because people were like, I can't play the game, it crashed. So it just got blown up. Even in Discord, somebody's like, oh, look at it's dying. And I was like, well, obviously that was a bad choice to release the day before without any description of what's actually going on in the Steam page. Like when you read it, you should say, you can download it, but you can play it Saturday morning or whatever day it was for where you are. So that got destroyed. I haven't actually looked at where Torchlight sits now in Steam because
I haven't either. I will look.
It was mostly negative.
I looked at Undecember, went from mostly negative to mixed.
And
that
Yes.
Rotten Gamer
yes.
and I both said that
Yeah.
like I said that people are just going to look at that score and not play it, and he said that the people that were giving it that score only played for like an hour. That data set was trash. You couldn't use that.
Right. And that's kind of what sucked. I was like, that was a bad move on Torchlight to do that because in Steam, where
Well,
a lot of
Undecember.
players will just. Well, I haven't looked at. Well, Undecember was negative, and when I actually downloaded it a couple days ago, was that mixed? When I had to re-download it because it was the after the beta or whatever.
And what's interesting
First
too is
version.
remember, Undecember, as far as at any given point, you could just look up active players. Who's playing the game?
Right.
Undecember had always 3 times as many active players. Because again, bigger game, people have been waiting for it. People have played Torchlight. It's already been
Right.
out a year. It's like launching Lost Ark, right? So right now, 17,000 active players playing right now Undecember, and Torchlight is over 9,000. So almost every day, they're slowly closing that gap. But again, who knows?
Well, you have like this group of, let's just say 50,000 players that are kind of like playing either one, and they're all sitting in their slots, right?
Exactly.
So, oh, I prefer this one. I prefer this one. So it's kind of balancing. They're probably going to be very similar, I think, towards the end when they kind of stop moving.
Yeah,
players.
Undecember is mixed at a 44%. Gosh,
Okay.
It's freaking. I mean, it's freaking.
I'm curious
horrible.
about Torchlight. Last time I looked at Torchlight, it was mostly negative.
Oh wait, I'm playing turn the trailer off.
it's
Torchlight
wow.
right now is mixed at a 60%.
Okay.
It's 16% higher. Pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like
figured
Torchlight,
that
once you
could
give it a
happen.
chance, people are going to be like, okay, the visuals aren't for me, the style isn't for me, but it's not what I thought it was. That's normally, I feel like that's going to be kind of the generic
Sure.
feedback.
Drazi's got some input, and I think it's interesting because while mechanically you can do the loot hunt, the game does have a loot hunt.
It does.
Realistically, you're going to be at the auction house, which, yes,
So, no,
that's what ruins Diablo 3.
I disagree
took that out.
because true
Really?
true end game in Torchlight is crafted. So you have gear you find,
Right.
Right.
then you have gear you buy for in-game currency. Then you have uniques you'll find off bosses, and then you have like the elite, which is the 6 or 7 affix, all legendary affix.
The pink ones, I
Bakes.
think they are.
No, it's a yes,
the
it's
ones
a
that'll
pink.
be in the auction house.
When you look at the game, you have to look at the color of the affix. So you'll have
Right,
blue,
I
you'll
noticed
have
that.
pink, and then you'll have basically orange, which is like unique or legendary affix. So it's
yeah.
the base item you want, crafted with every affix you want on it. That's like the true end game. Rotten Gamer, don't say stuff like that. That's not true. Don't say stuff like that.
For Undecember, I never took my pet. I just left it away. just see if I could play the game without it. Because I know it's all I'm picking up is a few items at this point. Most of it's auto-looted, so that's what I'm doing in December. I just left the pet off. Just turn it off and see if I can see if it gets too outlandish or anything, but it hasn't so far.
Rotten Gamer, I gotta clear the air because Rotten Gamer said, sounds like Aaron's new favorite game is Torchlight Infinite, even more than Last Epoch.
Wow.
First off, don't ever talk about that. Don't ever say things like
they're
that.
Very different.
Okay?
Are they different?
I will say
they're
this.
very different.
I will say this as a fan of the genre. I played your Undecember, and I've been playing your Undecember.
Yes.
I have played lots of Torchlight, and I have a great relationship with the studio. But my number one is Last Epoch, and when 090 drops multiplayer,
It's gonna be
you'll
fun.
see where my
Right now,
loyalties lie.
I think the three of us would agree. Right now is a lull because we can't really talk about playing the CT. We can't really go into that. So I'm less encouraged personally to put much time into it. And right now, I think tomorrow when I log in, I won't be able to use my old characters. They're doing a reboot. So it's a weird place right now for Last Epoch as far as playing it and talking about it, because you can't. Even though they showed everything in game, it's still, we have their...
Isn't it so interesting? I'm so happy I didn't start a character
It's
yet.
awkward.
They're getting reset anyways.
They're going to reset tomorrow, Aaron.
I know, I read it.
Tomorrow
I
at 9 a.m.
saw it.
Yeah.
When I wake up 6 a.m. for me, but yeah, same deal.
Yeah. Is it Eastern or is it Western Heathen time?
Oh, I don't know, because they are on they are in Canada. I don't know where their locale
Well,
is.
Mike's in Canada, Judd's in Texas.
Yeah, they're kind of spread out. I don't know what clock they actually work with. It's a good question.
Your
Maybe
loyalty
right.
lies if you find you're unique. Dude, I will not sleep until I find... That's not true. I'll probably sleep. Which
I'll
game
be
is
working
resetting
for it.
tomorrow? 9 asks. CT
Last
server
Epoch.
of
It's
Last
CT.
Epoch. Multiplayer
Yeah.
server.
It's just
The testers.
it's not even that. It's not a big update. It's not.
No.
See,
Yeah.
now everyone's like, what the hell are they talking about? What
It's
game's
Hey,
resetting?
Angwar.
It's not. What's up, Angwar?
Hello, hello.
It's not the
Shin's in
average
chat too, by the
thing.
way.
Hello, everyone.
What you guys can get in the CT if you just go to their website.
I know, I got to
you
get Lady Medusa in still.
can get in there.
Late, I didn't forget about
do.
you. Okay. What do you guys want to talk about now? I got a few things, but I'm gonna let Guilty go for a second.
So, like, just a little segue. There is a game coming out in fall. It's a rogue side scroller. What is it called? Shoota's Blood and Teeth. It's a Warhammer 40k orc game.
Yes.
It's kind of similar to Broforce. Kind of similar to Broforce. It doesn't have the exact same controls as Broforce. But I typically am not a narrative guy, but when it comes to orcs, it's definitely all about the WOG. It's funny, it's hilarious. The entire plot of the story is given to you in the demo, which is downloadable on Steam right now.
Which I want to
Right.
play and make a video of.
Do that. It's one level, one boss. You get to experience what the gameplay, the core gameplay loop is, and how bosses are. Which the boss is pretty cool.
Cool.
It's a Broforce type game with a new mechanic for ranged
Yeah.
combat. There's your chain swords are still in it because it's Warhammer 40k.
The
but
the
you are-
boys.
The boys.
That
You are an orc, and you're fighting other orcs, and you're fighting Imperial Guardsmen, and probably some other things. I don't know what's beyond the demo,
Yep.
but the narrative in this game, and I am speaking to narrative, is hilarious.
I
And
like
for you to even-
hilarious narratives.
For Guilty to even bring up the narrative is kind of
Exactly.
amazing. So
Exactly.
Hey, you know what I
Because-
want to do? What we should
Free
do
demos.
is I should move my screen over, and then we should have a fourth screen that I could show stuff on.
yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we could work that out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's pull up the Undecember numbers, and I could literally do it on the screen so everyone could see, or the Torchlight numbers, or when Guilty is talking about Warhammer, I could pull up the game.
That'd be semi-pro. Yeah.
That'd be shooters, blood, and teeth.
I would only be able to do that though with a 4090 behind me, you know, because that we have a whole nother screen I'm gonna have to control. So
we're gonna have to bring you into the year 2022.
Yeah, because the 4090 really, I mean, it's not that big.
It's just a, you know, just
it's a toaster oven. Like you can literally toast bread with it.
No, not with the air configuration I have.
I bet you still can.
Oh, see, Ingwar.
I bet you can use that radiator.
See, Ingwar, check it out.
I read it. Ingwar wants to come on. Ingwar could come on if you guys. I'll kick Daft off, and then you kick.
Wow.
All right, fine. I'll kick Guilty off. He's too polarizing, anyways. Well, guys, I'll catch the rest tomorrow, 4:15 a.m. here. Need to sleep. Go to
God. Night, Drazzy.
Bed.
No,
okay,
guys.
I'm not done talking about Undecember yet. I'm not done. So, I want to talk about something that really pisses me off. I don't know why. It just really gets my goat.
Your goat.
Is it a pet rental? Because that pissed me off.
When I played the demo, I realized why I really had so much fun. I hope Rotten Gamer's still here, because I love Rotten Gamer.
Chime in, please, sir.
I've made 11 videos on YouTube about Undecember. I streamed it for an entire
12.
week. I have restarted another character for my sentries. And I started thinking, why did I have so much fun the first time and not as much fun the second time? And a logical thinker will be like, well, it's not new. You've already done this before. It's the same thing you just went through. It feels repetitive.
Right.
And that's not it. That's not the reason why. Because I thought I was going to have more fun the second time around, because now I understand the game. I know how to craft. I know exactly what skills I want to do. I know where to run and how to do it. I'm going to save so much time. And the reason why I don't like it as much the second time around is because they gave me all these carrots. They're like, oh, you want to play the demo? Here's a carrot. Oh, you want to play the demo? Here's 2 more carrots, which are 2,000 red gems. Go buy whatever you want in the auction. Right. Oh, you want here's a stash tab to get all your stuff. And I'm like, wait a second. Why do I suck so bad the second time around? It's because now the carrot isn't handed to me. Now the carrot is dangling in front of my face.
I see what you're saying.
But you can buy that carrot.
Because they want me to now buy the carrot. And I go to the auction house and I go, holy crap. The 4 items I need in the auction house right now are about 10,000 red gems. And if I slid my card, it would cost me $20. And I would have my items. Terrible. And for $20, I could have the same power I experienced during the demo.
See,
and it just gets me and they did it on purpose. You know, they gave you that crap on purpose so that you got used to it, so that when you actually got the game, you wanted it back.
Exactly. And I was thinking about that when I restarted Undecember, and that's why when I got the pet, I just didn't take it. I just left it off. I decided up front, okay, I don't want that. I can just go old school Diablo or whatever game, paste here, Titan Quest, whatever, and just pick the things. And then they don't have a loot filter in Undecember, do they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
It's in the settings. Yeah.
Okay, I just forgot about, but so you can set your loot filter so you don't see all the things you don't want to pick up. So eventually I think I guess it depends on how annoying loot picking can be, because it picks up most of the stuff already without a pet, like your trinkets or, any items that are magical. It's not because I have a pet on, it just you go near it or you click it. So I don't know how much of a pitfall that is. I just don't know. I think it's more of a niche thing for people who just don't like picking up things. Like everything's auto pickup.
What's interesting, I'll never pay for auto pickup in Undecember either, because in my mind it kind of has auto pickup for free because you could walk over items and pick them up. You don't actually have to click on them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you're right, and the gear that drops isn't that good, so it's like, who cares? Hey, by the way, Rotten Gamer, I have found one unique in the first 4.5 acts, and I've tried to sell it 4 times, and I keep lowering the price. So that's
No
my
one's
plan. I understand
Everybody
the
else
buy.
found it too.
Exactly.
Right, you got the one that everybody else could come across. It's not the unique, it's just kind of unique.
It's
Like a little
unique in name only.
bit. Right. Just a
And then
tiny
I
bit.
tell myself, it's like, I said I'm never going to spend money in Undecember, and like, is that the right decision? You're going to play this game all the time. You're going to play with your community. Shouldn't you throw them a few bones? And then I just like, no, I can't. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't swipe because I feel like I can't do it. They don't deserve it. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Delton has a good point. Aaron and I were discussing this earlier. Just another pretty game with hidden garbage and trash tactics. Never had to go into my registry to remove files from downloaded game either. What a joke. Now, if you go into C, Windows, WoW 64, and delete gamemon.des, you can thank the community later.
Right.
I know I need to do that.
That's the thing. But I don't know. Like the whole pay to win thing is, or the difference between Torchlight and Undecember. It's an awkward conversation right now because Torchlight doesn't feel pay to win. It just pay to pacing up my game a little bit if I decide to put money into that part of the game. Undecember, I don't know. I'll see. Like I'm avoiding the whole pet thing, just playing it. So I'll see. Go get your we're gonna make the game really hard thing. If a game gets so hard to where it's just obnoxious, I just stop playing it. I don't feel like I have to complain about it. It's like, all right, whatever, that's how you have it set up.
But for
That's not for
example,
me.
Angwar
I'll
in
come back
chat,
to it maybe.
Angwar in chat is saying, "Hey, I'm going to spend $100 on a collector's edition. I could put that $100 in
Right.
December and have a great experience. What's the difference?"
And that's the thing. It's Undecember. Once you pay, what's the roughly $250?
It's $220. You don't have if you wanted.
It's $225.
everything, it's $225 if you want everything, and then it's what, $10 a month ongoing
$10 a month.
for auto
Well,
pickup.
no, that's not true. There's other things that aren't included with that 225 that are account and character. There's character bound things that you have to buy per character, not just account. You have to pay
Okay.
attention to that.
Right.
So I kind of want to go and change my comments because it is more than $200 if you make multiple characters.
Daft, go ahead and read what Crom Cake just said.
Right. He's saying I'm enjoying TL and I'm definitely throwing money at them. The battle pass is actually pretty good at 15 and 20 bucks. So, I think basically the point is if I'm enjoying the game, it's not like game breaking. It just kind of hastens up the pacing of your game when you do that. I have the battle pass. I'm not really gonna put much into outside of that, but I don't feel I need to because outside of it, the pets are the only thing you'd want to, and I'm okay with the pets I get. I just level them up and play the game. I'm not leader hunting at all. I just play the game to enjoy it and try to do my hardcore don't die type thing or whatever I want to do. And the game I don't feel like it's pushing me to do anything beyond that. Where Undecember kind of is more of here, you're great, you're stuck.
This
Grind away,
Undecember, Undecember has turned
It's
into
just a
a
different kind of
weird
thing.
thing for me. So it's downstairs dungeon studio Aaron action RPG. Last Epoch, Torchlight. Upstairs family, nobody's doing anything. Maybe in bed after the wife's fell asleep. Gaming laptop, Undecember. So upstairs has turned. I don't want to fall crazy behind, but that's kind of where it's fit in.
You're beyond me, Aaron.
Get it on your phone.
I'm not gonna put it on my
can't.
phone.
I
I'm
can't.
not gonna. Can't
Can't.
do it. Won't do it.
What? Not Torchlight Infinite or Undecember?
Neither.
Neither.
No.
Neither.
No. Nice.
You gotta remember
I-
too. I'm sure I could get good at it, but you know, my character's like shoot, shoot, move, heal, click, 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 kill. Like, I just couldn't imagine doing it on the phone. I'd get carpal tunnel in both hands. Like, I'm not gonna do it. It's not worth it.
I tried to. Okay, I went into Titan Quest. I just mentioned that.
Right.
I built. You know, you can go straight into the legendary character now for the what is it, Ember?
They just updated Titan Quest.
That is still ridiculously hard.
Just saying.
They give you the bare minimum gear needed and no lifeline and just say have at it.
Right.
Good luck.
You
Good
know
luck.
what I cannot believe hasn't been truly copied in a game that has been released recently is the Titan Quest speed up button.
Oh, it needs to. I've been using it.
I
you
can't
can go faster,
believe
extra fast.
other
Needs
games
it.
don't incorporate that. You could speed. It's like
Hey, Flenser.
you're running at 10%, and just by clicking this twice, you're running at 180%. You know,
Right.
it's such a fun thing.
It's the best thing,
It's so fun.
especially in that game.
I know. What's up, Lenzer? Hello, sir.
I was running a rogue. You know, I took marksmanship and I took nature.
Okay.
And you know, regardless of what you choose, you always get the same starting gear. So they give you a halfway decent bow, you know, some armor that you need to have 100.
It's not actually good though, but yes.
It's. I mean, it's
enough to almost
allows
get
you to
killed
kill things.
Yeah.
when you get to that first area where you with the centaurs or whatever inside that field.
Yeah.
Second part.
They're giant cat people. Thank you.
Well, those two, those are good ones. I like those. The quick.
The giant cat people.
Yeah, like if you start a legendary character, which you can do with the new DLC, which actually is good, but I highly suggest playing through the other two campaigns and actually making it to legendary, because the legendary character you will make is not going to quickly get through things. It's legitimately a difficult game, and I like being able to just have to sit and pace myself versus the newer games we have where they're like, oh, a la carte, I can just walk through stuff. We were talking about Commander Moto. We just walk through the campaign.
Right.
You can't do that in Titan Quest with their system for just starting a new legendary character.
Torchlight Infinite is close as I've seen to Guilty's idea of basically an only end game because the campaign is so short. Right?
Right.
That if they just had like a 5 times bigger Nether realm with a couple other systems, you don't even need it. You don't even need the campaign.
Oh my God, thank you.
You don't even need it.
I would give them money. I would give them lots of money because I want it and I don't want to make it.
Yeah, I could see that if you didn't have to do a campaign or whatever. It's a thing
it has
though.
its place.
Like it. Yeah.
Torchlight Infinite is basically a boss run game. Even in the campaign, you go through a level, there's a little mini boss at the end, you clear it, you move on to the next. The campaign basically feels kind of like the Nether realm. It's just sometimes you get to a little bit of a bigger boss that has a cinematic, you know, I mean.
He who looks good in a tree.
Even Act 5, the final act, is just preparation for the Nether realm where you're just running Nether realm, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is the state of, and Undecember is kind of not that. Going back to that, it's kind of more grind, well, not grind, but get through the chapters and eventually you get to a boss. There's not a boss run type thing.
Even though they're both action RPGs, Undecember and Torchlight, they're literally polar opposite on every front.
They're very different. Yeah,
like
pacing.
in every way. Visuals, pacing, gearing, skilling, passives, respecing. I mean, every single aspect of the game is different. And I guarantee everyone's going to I like this from this one, and I like this from this one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying about they'll eventually even out because all the players will decide which side they're on.
Yep.
Because that's the style, the pacing and the style of game they like. And then afterwards, it's going to be who does better. That's an established, basically kind of polar opposite games that are very similar, but are different.
If
you know,
you
who
take
pulls up in
out
front.
monetization, let's say they both don't have cash shops, there is one glaring problem to me, not to everyone, to me, about Undecember, which Torchlight crushes, and that is loot hunt, boss drops, items falling, being excited to check what came. Like, Undecember actually feels more like Lost Ark, where you don't even look at your gear, no one gives a crap, you know, like
I said,
The
it's all the
auction
same,
house
you know.
defeats that.
That is the glaring problem with Undecember.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But the auction house in Torchlight stops that in its tracks because you can just sell that stuff.
you can.
You can, yes.
But I
So-
agree. It's more of a, for me, what I was saying. I just, when I get to the next chapter, I just update all my gear at the shop, and then add magic or yellow magic, and just kind of like base my gear. If I find something better, cool. But mostly I'm not. I'm just kind of like updating my gear and then playing it. I think maybe once or twice in each chapter, I'm finding, oh, well, that's slightly an upgrade, but not really. It doesn't
So-
have that loot filter.
Wait, Guilty,
like,
before you say anything,
hunt
when
feel.
you go to kill the Act 3 boss in Undecember, are you
I
thinking,
killed her in
man,
the first go.
are you thinking, man, I can't wait to see what item it drops? No, because you know it's
No.
zero, right?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
it's nothing. Where when you go
No,
to fight
no,
a boss in Torchlight Infinite, it literally shows you the uniques that could possibly
Could possibly
drop, right? So,
Right.
like, as far as like,
Right.
well, all I'm trying to say is that Torchlight does have a loot hunt where you could find stuff.
The option for it.
Yes,
Right.
The option exists to purchase it as well in the auction house.
but not
And
for
it
real
does.
money.
No.
in-game
But you
money,
can go to
which-
the auction house and earn it that way. You don't have to
Right.
do the actual like RNG.
Technically, yeah, you can earn currency from runs, trade in that currency for Flame Elementium, use Flame Elementium to buy what you need.
Right.
For sure.
So we had a there was another comment earlier about we were talking about just going to endgame with T3's what was it? The exploration mode. If you remove narrative from the exploration mode in D3 and expand the capabilities, arena style gameplay, mapping style gameplay, a Shattered Realm a la Grim Dawn style gameplay, and
Right.
maybe something new that no one's seen before, like the boss thing in Wolfson, if they did it right. Wolfson actually came up with 5
Wolfson.
modes. All roads lead back.
Time.
All
back.
roads.
Ah.
All roads lead back, but they came up with, at least they were trying. They might not
Right.
have been the best endgame modes, but they came up with 5 additional. It was 5, right? I think it was
Yeah.
5 additional modes.
4 or 5, the war table.
4 or
It's called
5,
the
something like
war
that.
table.
They came up with 5. Like if you don't have to just do mapping and you don't have to just do like arena.
Sure.
There's things that you can do with this medium, and you don't have to use a narrative. Now, when you do that, it frees up not having to have someone on staff to be a lore master. You don't have to have writers. You don't have to you don't have to have a level designer design levels for that stuff. They could be
Right.
working on just stuff that people want to play.
You know who's gonna nail endgame? Last Epoch is
Epoch,
gonna nail endgame.
Yeah.
They are gonna have
They've been doing good.
endless run, kind of tower defense in the arena. They're gonna set up the arena and they're gonna continue to evolve that. The main multiplayer will be the mapping system through the monolith. You will also have multiple dungeons that will give you various rewards, and then an entire secret new endgame system. I don't think it's going to be enough where you feel bombarded with not knowing what to do, but I don't think it'll be enough where you feel like you're bored. It is going to be a good, happy
Aaron,
medium.
so Aaron, we have Shades 1. He didn't enjoy LE. So what's your experience, Shades, with LE? What wasn't the enjoyable part?
Depends
Ellie's not
how
finished.
long it's been since he's played.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So, like Ellie's got like people who aren't in the CT don't see it, so I'm not following the
Well, he
public
could
release
be.
anymore.
He
Yeah,
played it
he
at the
could be.
start. It's very different now.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
okay.
it's-
So it's not the same game.
Hey, honestly, if you
Lightyear.
haven't played it since the start, don't play it now. Once 090 drops, which is the next update coming this year, and it better
Around
freaking
Christmas,
come this year
right?
because TikTok.
I think they said
Then give it a try.
TikTok,
Let's Rock. They said by like at least
10 cent. We love it.
January, December that would be out. So
They said this
that's what we're
year.
hoping.
That's all we know.
Yeah, so he's waiting for multiplayer. We're in the CT right now, Shades, and playing the multiplayer. It's rather smooth and kind of buttery. So don't worry about it.
Migs is purposely
This year-
trying to piss me off.
You're
And it's
in it
working.
now. So without saying anything, it works better than most people expect.
Right.
Once
Hands down. And we put it
right,
to the test.
when 090 drops, for me, the world it'll just like stop.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
It'll be like the Flash when he's you can see everything, like everything stops. And we're just gonna play that to find my item. And if someone finds it before me, you have to delete it.
I will find it before him.
And then you have to sell it because you're not allowed to.
Oh, no.
Guilty
And then I will switch over to running your build.
You will.
No, you won't, because I know where you live. So
Yeah, Guilty and I have been trying to get Aaron to play, but he won't yet.
No, well, I stopped, and I'm glad I stopped for like the 2 weeks that I stopped, because tomorrow it would have all been for naught.
my 1600 hours in last Epoch is on hold to play the new shiny thing, which is Undecember in Torchlight. And as soon as the NDA lifts for the CT multiplayer, we will go back. But as for now, I am going to put out my last build guide too. My last build guide will be Void Knight.
Really?
Feels pretty good. I've been playing it.
Really?
Yeah, I just haven't told you guys, 'cause I know you're trying to make me play multiplayer. So I've been playing that, getting it ready.
He doesn't love us.
And then that'll be
play.
the last build guide on the old account before I switch to only multi.
So what you're saying is Angwar, Daft, and I have to go and get leveled up to carry you through.
Yes, cheers.
Listen, no one carries me through anything. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yes,
Until
that's
now.
exactly what you have to do. Red Eye is here. I'll keep it and show it off to everyone on my stream. I'll hack your stream.
I hope you do, Red Eye. I hope you do.
Right.
I'm gonna have
Matter of
some
fact, if I
code to
find
just
it, I'll give it to you.
find my unique.
Yeah. I think I'll find it before you.
That's possible.
You
But,
probably
yeah.
would.
No, probably not, because you're like a massive end game player, where I'm kind of not. So
Yeah, I shoot for that because that's where the game actually starts.
Yeah.
Everything else I've used as a tutorial when there's a narrative.
I have a
Does
new
it-
unique. Question is, which unique is yours? Well, you don't know what it is yet because it's not in the game. But
It's not
for
named yet.
097, I have a new
We know what it
Necromancer armor coming that will be able to grant you new and more golems.
columns.
So if you want to play a Golemancer from PoE, you got to find Aaron Action RPG's
The only way to do it.
body armor. And no
And
one's
it's
allowed
not
to
like-
find it or use it but me.
And it's
I
not
break the
like
rules.
You
So-
don't get puny golems. They're all like
They're full-size
Golem.
golems.
full of,
And the new
full
ones.
abilities. Yeah. So
It's going to be awesome.
thank you, Lady Medusa.
What
So
a lady.
I'll look for it.
Daft ain't
just
finding
because
crap.
something's hard to drop doesn't mean you have to have
Wow.
1,000 hours of
Wow.
gameplay for it to drop. It's 100% possible for someone with like 20 hours of gameplay to get these high-end drops. That's how statistics work.
Right.
Just
You know
throwing
what's
it
going
out
to be
there.
crazy is like, what if golems just suck? You know, I mean, that's highly possible.
Could be. That's why they're like,
I
ha, he
mean-
thinks he's getting some good.
I've played them and see they don't suck right now. The updated ones. At least
What
yeah.
updated ones?
There's no updated ones, Mr.
There's nothing, but they're just the current golems are really nice. I'm just saying. So
For 090, the multiplayer update, which is coming this year, golems will be getting a new unique, my unique. Golems will be getting all new assets, which means they're going to look completely different. They're going to look shiny. They look so much better. On top of that, they are getting a
little bit.
refreshed skill tree. So their tree actually has different, full different golems that have never been seen before.
little different, not crazy different, but it is a little bit.
Red Eye
cool.
says except for Bastion, and no, not except for Bastion.
Dude, Bastion's getting nerfed, sir.
Yeah, it's gonna get
Get
nerfed, but its
ready.
rarity is stupid rare. But that doesn't mean someone with seriously low numbers compared to other players won't.
Hammer.
I found so many bastions, and
People
I've
win
never
the
hunted
lottery,
for them.
so.
They just like, they just fall.
Also, the RNG in a video game is not true, or it's not truly random.
Yeah, but I get streamer RNG, so it's cheating.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is cheating.
I can imagine my face when I'm running endgame. At this point, I'm probably 14 hours into my stream, and I know how to target farm it, and it doesn't fall. I can already feel myself getting angry right now. And then Daft's going to be like, oh, I was level 40, and it fell in the campaign, and then I'm going to go through the screen and choke the life out of him in a loving way.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, of course, that's fine. And we could trade it.
Yeah, we
Like
can.
Sebastian get found by some guy who doesn't even know what it is, and he'll just be like, I don't need this, and he'll have it in like his inventory.
Right.
Lady
That's the
Medusa
thing.
says, I will take a vacation and look for the unique. Well, I can tell you somebody might also take vacation.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Don't know who that
vacation
would be.
for sure. I actually took a
It's
couple days
already-
off for the Undecember Torchlight. That's how I was able to stream 11 hours a day for 4 days.
You streamed like 31 hours of either
It's
game.
44.
It was,
Yeah, over like
I
4
averaged
days.
44 hours.
Oh.
Super cool though. Thank you all for the support. Because of that,
Yeah.
it pushed up our average viewers on Twitch over a 1 month period to 86 viewers, which allowed me
really
to
cool,
apply for partner, which is super cool. And supposedly you have to apply like 30 times for partner before they accept you. So I don't
That's
know.
fine. We'll
But
see.
the first application is in. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
you go. That's
Red
good.
Eye says algorithms can never be truly random. They only simulate randomness, which is true. And depending on what algorithm you're using, if there's a heuristic involved, that's a guess. That's an educated guess. So, yes, it's not really random.
It's not.
It's
whatever.
random within a random
I mean,
scope.
it's random enough.
Right.
Yeah, it's random enough. It's random enough. All right, guys. I'm good. We've gone through all our topics. We've talked Ellie, we've talked Torchlight, we've talked Undecember. Unless you striking young lads have anything else you'd like to discuss, we can move over to Patreon. Or
Well, only XCOM because true random numbers. Well, you might be onto something, Crumb Cake, because that was terrible things happened in XCOM 2.
what about like a
Terrible,
slot
bad
machine?
things.
Isn't a slot machine totally random or something?
Depending if so digital, no. Mechanical, yes. If it's perfectly made, but nothing's perfectly made, so no.
Yep. No, XCOM was playing the X. I don't know if you've played it, Aaron, but
No.
XCOM playing through the campaign and just 60% chance. It is the game that kills you with the whole RNG.
There is
Kinda thing.
nothing worse on the planet than honing in Lost Ark. There cannot be a worse system ever made in the history of video games than honing
pretty bad.
on Lost
XCOM
Ark.
2 critical
in my
system from the
opinion.
enemies to the player. That's the worst. This is the worst system.
I don't know.
It was-
Determining whether a enemy critical hit one of your players, one of your characters.
Right.
XCOM 2.
I
That's the
have
worst system.
bad dreams about that
In
black
XCOM,
and
though,
red
you'd have it-
flash of the honing failing in Lost Ark.
But Aaron, in XCOM, you'd have this every single round of all your, you have your 5 team or your 4 team or your 6 team, whatever your team is, and each one will have these odds in a specific round over and over and over. So into Eternium. So that's like where XCOM is like, okay, I survived the first one. I have 5 more turns, and then we're going to start it all over.
Yeah, that does sound horrible. Angwar says
It's fun,
honing
but
is what drove me away 100%.
I would agree.
Do you guys
and I do
remember?
agree.
Of course, you guys remember. So last Epoch, it was like
We do.
we want to change the crafting system because it doesn't feel good. We're gonna keep the exact same statistics of crafting, but it's gonna feel better. And I remember we would talk about it like, how do they make it feel better? Like, what is that even? The same and they did. They
Yeah.
talk about delivering on a promise. Same statistics of crafting, but they created a system that feels better. Nailed it.
They
Honing
changed
is the worst.
Yeah, they changed the way those things work while keeping the same numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it does feel better. It's weird.
It does.
Oh, it feels
does
way
feel a lot
better. You just have this kind of you have that whole like, oh no, I'm running out of points versus oh, I just broke my gear.
Instead of 90% chance, broken.
Right.
Yes.
It's like they have this large database of what everything can be and the randomness to it. It's like already made in an Excel sheet somewhere, and they're like, please don't make us redo this. Find another way to use it.
But Daft, you would understand this on the old system. You'd be like at 50 or 60% chance of fracturing, and you'd stop, right? You would stop.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta
But now on the
stop.
new system, you could basically go until it fractures, right? If you have 1 point left and you only need 1 tier, you know you're going to get it.
for it.
Exactly.
Right. And yes, exactly. It's that whole confidence of doesn't matter. I have 1 point. I'm gonna get the last roll, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Versus
We've got a
broken
PoE
gear.
comment. Delton says, I hope they crunch numbers in or tiers in a sense. PoE refuses to fix crafting and just make it worse every patch. How far did you make it in this season or this league or whatever PoE tag?
1 week.
I made it level 0.
About a week for me.
Yeah, it was fun, but it just kind of felt
4 or 5 days. Yeah.
It didn't grab me. So I
No,
just
it was
like,
it was the worst
fun,
experience in PoE I've ever had.
Yeah. It felt just like PoE. It didn't feel much different.
No, it felt worse than PoE. They took the speed away from PoE. They took away the drop chances. They took
PoE 2 is going to be PoE 2 is going to be slower. So they got to balance them.
I'm okay with the slower. It just depends on what slower means because
this was terrible.
Right, slower in PoE now means you're just not playing your character effectively. Essentially.
No, not this last scene. They completely nerfed everything. Well, not everything, but they made the drop rates and the currency drops like just
pretty bad.
I feel like true people that love PoE are going to be extremely surprised when they play Torchlight. They're going to be like, holy crap, this is what that speed I remember looked like. And I've seen that. I actually know people that play PoE that are like, oh yeah, like Torchlight's so much fun. Like it reminds me of old school PoE.
Well, so yeah.
Because it's fast.
Because that's what people want.
Right.
Why does PoE keep on giving people not what they want?
Because they're kind of bloated right now. They're bloated. They're
like, why are we
version of themselves right now?
Hemorrhaging players? Because they kind of are, but not really. But they are. It's because your game's old. Don't make DLC. Make a new game.
Right. It just feels like I don't know what 2's like. I haven't looked too much into it. I know, like you're saying, it's probably just a slightly DLC'd version of Path of Exile. But I played it in almost 2012, but basically 2013 and on. And early on, it was really cool and fun. And up until, for me personally, it was the 10 chapter point. Once they added 10 chapters, that grind became really like, not only was the campaign like, the campaign, but campaign gradually gets difficult as you get towards the end of it. So it's like this weird, I don't know, it's not like the old days where it was you had rerunning the same levels over and over on a harder difficulty where your resist would drop, and so you were just kind of weak. It's not that. It's just kind of like this grind, but on top of that, you have the whole other aspect where you're doing the grind for your bonus, where you're trying to do the gauntlet, whatever they call it, where you're doing this whole side. So you have all these little quests you have to do throughout the game. I don't know. For me, at this point, it's rough to like get past a certain point because I just feel since I played it for like 12 years almost, it feels repetitive. Even though it's different, they add all these new gadgets and gimmicks in. I generally skip a lot of those while I'm leveling because it just slows down the leveling and makes it more difficult. So I just kind of skip it early on and then get into it and get overwhelmed with it and go, oh, I have to do all these new gizmos to like make my character work well. So
the lake mechanic was terrible. The rewards from it were terrible.
Okay,
And
we have
so
a few minutes left. This is how I would
pull
like to end. That's how I want to end this podcast, okay? Staring is in chat right now. Not I'm staring, the person staring. And staring is a Torchlight moderator. He's the one that has been in streams with me for, I don't know, lots of hours and helped out the community, answered questions, and has helped me out. Staring asked me a question earlier, and I thought maybe we could do this live for just a few minutes. Staring has meetings with XD and people who make bigger decisions than us, than him. And he wants to know feedback on the game. Now, not like, oh, it's good or oh, it's bad, or actual improvements you think that are realistic that needs to come to the game. Now, I will give you my list. This is the stuff that I've got written down. Okay. It's like some of the stuff's big, some of the stuff's small. Okay. So in chat, if you have a realistic, I would love to see this, you could put it there. Number one.
One thing.
These aren't in any order either. Number one, sound settings reset when I log out and log back in. It drives me freaking nuts, especially as a streamer, because I always forget. Okay. Number two, auto loot gear, not just crafting materials. Okay. Number three, customize loot filter, not just pick no loot filter or basic loot filter or intermediate or advanced. Be able to actually pick what I want to be picked up.
I agree.
Number four, rankings by a number for the ladder. So if you log into the hero rankings right now, it doesn't say Aaron Action RPG ranked 100th or 60th or 10,000th like in Undecember. It doesn't say anything. You have to like go find yourself.
Right.
Drives me freaking. That's one I literally can't believe they don't rank people by number. It's crazy.
Okay.
Number five. This is for the Moto players out there. Commander Moto should be able to walk through his minions.
You already
can?
Because he bumps into him all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, you should be better at games.
Yeah, just don't.
It sounds like user error with that one.
Okay, maybe.
I never ran. Yeah, just stay away from them.
But you know how, like, you know, in any other game, like your minions don't obstruct you. Okay.
Right.
What about some of the UI stuff, Aaron?
I'm not done with my list.
Oh, his list is long.
Number 6.
Lengthy.
Be able to lock the UI or customize the UI in some way. It is huge. And if you accidentally click on the map pulls up. You accidentally click on a skill, the skill pops up.
Right.
Unbelievably agitating.
That is, I agree. Mousing over things. They should have some type of smart system where it's not. I'm not doing that. I'm just going over it.
Number 7. I don't know where I'm at. 8. I don't know what number. Map overlay. This is one where like I just sometimes want to smash my head into the screen. How do you create an isometric action RPG where you hit tab and the map doesn't come over your character? Daft's probably thinking, is that how it works? You hit tab and you stop moving and the map pulls up and then you're dead.
You die. Yeah.
I'm yelling now.
It's okay.
And my last number 9, 8 or 9 is this is more just like I got upset with staring. Obviously it wasn't his fault, but the way you unlock crafting in the game is crazy. Have you unlocked crafting yet, Daft?
Unlocked. I think so.
To unlock crafting, the ability to modify your item, you have to beat the entire campaign. Then once you've beaten the campaign, you got to go to the first boss and beat the first boss. Then you got to go to the third boss and beat the third boss on time mark 3. And that's after you get the side quests that you need to unlock crafting. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Staring had to walk me through it because I was so pissed off. I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean I can't craft? And he's like, oh, well, you didn't do the right side quests. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have to do the side quests to unlock craft? I was so upset.
Well, maybe I didn't notice it because you know me, I do all the quests while I'm playing the campaign, so I probably didn't experience I have to go back. I think I have it unlocked though.
You probably do.
40. Do. Yeah, I have a level 50 character almost. So I finished the campaign as far as I know.
Literally, and I feel like everything I just named is really easy. Like none of this is like groundbreaking stuff. But again, every single time one of these items gets checked off the list, the game will feel more like a PC game and not a mobile game. And there's other stuff like I like being able to drop and drag. You know, there's like lots of UI stuff.
The UI stuff's pretty important.
It's not like dramatic. You get used to most of it, but escape doesn't feel like escape usually would in PC. There's a lot of times where you could use a right click on or on PC to kind of like get out of screens. There's a lot of situations that I notice it, but because the game is, when you're not worrying about this, it's not like at a high pace, so you just kind of, I have to click this or push this button. It doesn't feel as bad, but it would feel way better if you could right click to get out or escape or do these simpler things that you're not, or gearing. When you're gearing, you don't have to click the item and then put wear or equip or whatever.
Yes.
You don't have to do, you can just right click it and go, that's great.
Well, I talk about that all the time when I'm streaming. It's like when you're looking through your inventory, you click on an item. The only way you can click off it is by going and clicking dead space on the top of the screen. You can't click to the right. You can't click. You can't double click on it. You have to go up to dead space and click to get it to clear to click on the next item.
I find myself not trying to click on things in my inventory, but something just near it, but not on it, right? So that you'll unselect the item. It's a little, I'll say it's not a huge deal, but it is kind of.
In the trade house, I can't even tell you how many times in the trade house I've clicked the top arrow instead of the bottom arrow and it exits out. I don't know if you,
right.
These are just little little drives things, me crazy.
But on a PC, you expect this kind of world because you don't have a limited amount of numbers like on a controller or like a cell phone where you're like pushing these little tiny bots.
But if you went and played PoE, you went and played Last Epoch, you went and played Grim Dawn, you went and played Titan Quest, you went and played Martyr, you went and played any modern PC ARPG. It's like, what button do I hit to pull up my inventory? I hit I.
Right.
In Torchlight, it's B for bag. First thing I switched. It's no longer B for bag, it's I for inventory. Okay.
No, tab.
You hit tab for map. Tab for map, they pick the right it's the right button, but it doesn't do the right thing. You know, I mean, you could just go play those games and be like, okay, I want to mimic at least the control keys that the community of PC players are used to, and we will bring that. We won't be copying because, I mean, I guess you will be copying because that's what universally everybody does, but it's universally that way because that's the way it is. All right, what's Staring saying? Staring is saying, actually, most of what you've listed is already being looked at or on my list. Trust me, our ears are opened. I don't know if there would be any way to verbally talk to you. I would better be able to communicate to you all about questions, comments, or concerns. Maybe Friday's stream, I could play Torchlight and I could bring you on as like a XD moderator, and we could do like an interview or something. That would be fun. My last thing, and then I'll let you guys go.
Discord already.
Yeah, I've got him. Last thing I have, and this doesn't help me in any way, okay? Staring XD, I feel like it should almost be required to change the way you select heroes. All hero traits, whether it being free or paid for, should be at the character selector. I have been asked.
Oh, like the.
I have been asked. I don't know how many times, with the exception of, is this game pay to win? My number 2 question, every other second, is how do I be Thea, or how do I pick? How do I pick
in chat today?
Yeah, how do I pick Lethal Flash? It should be character selector. Here's the characters that are free. Here are the ones that'll cost you $10. If you want the ones that are $10, buy it, and you could start the one that's $10. Like,
there's a character called Lethal lethal stat.
Lethal Flash, and you have to go into
That's
the
a
cache.
character?
Yes.
Oh,
My character
It's a sub
Carino, you can get
character.
Lethal
Daring,
Flash.
I played the game a lot.
He's like a
I didn't know
purple-
this.
Oh yeah, I played with him. I went. Yeah, he's like a purple, got new aesthetic, everything, new
Okay.
moves. Yeah.
I didn't know. That's crazy. I knew about Thea, and then you had to like at least play the campaign.
No,
I
you
think
have
it
to
is,
get
and
so
what-
to
There's
get
a
her,
do that.
you have to buy the battle pass. To get
Right.
Lethal Flash,
That's right.
you have to go into you have to go into a certain cash shop. Not the regular cash shop. You have to go into the seasonal cash shop to find Lethal Flash in order to purchase him. But again,
Yeah.
how would you?
Gemma has a secondary too.
But Daft, this is the crazy part:
What?
is
All right.
you have to create a character to get to the first town in order to look at
Right.
the shop. So it forces you to create a character that you don't want to then pay money to start over again. It is the dumbest
Oh, Yuga too.
That
system
feels a
I've.
little
It is the
cringe, but
stupidest.
I'm not here
so
to judge, but yeah.
it would be better for the community if you could just, because you're paying $15 for Thea anyway with the battle pass. People would probably just buy her.
Or even if that's it, you could just buy the battle pass when you log into the game, so then
And then-
Thea's there,
yeah,
right? But that's still a stupid system. It's still, or any purchasable character. You buy Lethal Flash, you buy Thea, you buy Twisted Time Heart, whoever it is, you automatically get the battle pass when you start the game. So you buy that character for the new season, and the reward is you get to play the new character and you get the battle pass. That would sell like
would make
hotcakes.
Yes, Derek.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Agreed.
Yes.
I hate
It says
answering
better
that question.
streamlining of heroes and hero traits to be less convoluted and how to access them in feedback, if I understand correctly. Absolutely,
Yes.
100%.
Every character that
100%.
is playable can be accessed through
Like, yeah.
where you select a character, even if it says a little price on it. Like,
Right. For instance, with Last Epoch, when you start a game and you're just starting, it'll load all the characters. If one of them says purchased and it's blowed out or ghosted out, and you have to like click on and go, oh, I have to look here to, oh, okay, that's a premium character. These are the base characters. I know that character exists. I acknowledge its existence, so I can look for it. Right now, with them, they're kind of like choose your own adventure. Like, oh, I didn't even know they existed. Well, too bad for you. They exist. You just have to know to go on YouTube or into some forums or something to figure out how to do it. That is
guilty.
kinda
I'm guessing you
ridiculous.
read guilty. I'm guessing you read that comment too. You mean you want to be able to choose the classes at the class selection screen? Nonsense.
Right.
You know, and this is the dumber part, is they will sell more. If you just take all the characters that are available and say, here are the ones, and these ones aren't stronger, they're just newer, and we're selling them as DLCs. Do you want them? People will buy them because they want to play the new thing. Like,
Right.
they will sell more and people will be happier. Like, that's the weird thing. It's like the player will be happier and the company will make more money. No.
More money.
Let's hide one in the season shop. They can't even get there until level 10, and we'll hide the other in the battle pass. They're probably going to get the battle pass, right? Oh my gosh.
Right.
The only thing they're doing is stopping people from finding it to spend the money.
Daft has been playing the game for how many months? He doesn't even know Lethal Flash exists.
Right. Well, it's not just Lethal Flash. There's one for
Yoga.
Yuga, and
Yeah.
there's one for Gemma.
Right.
No, Gemma's Frostbitten Heart isn't out yet.
Right, but it's coming. And
It is coming. I know. Okay, we're beating a
going.
dead
We're
horse. That's
Beating.
my last thing. And again, I don't even care because I'm not going to buy the characters, but it's just I get asked so much. Hey, I wanted to play Thea. I thought it was in season 1. She's not here. Yeah, you're right. You got to
Right.
create another character, go get to town, and then buy the battle pass, then start over. And they're like, "What the hell are you
Right.
talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the process." So,
I have something to add to that. just staring. The UI sometimes pops up off screen still. Sometimes
Not too much. but
Oh
a little bit.
yeah. I need to put that in
the
there.
UX stuff needs to be touched up for PC. I'm sure it's fine on phone, but for PC, UX needs to be just kind of dusted off.
Yeah, if you go into the Nether Realm, like the Void Rift, you can't read the whole name, and then the other one on the left, you can't read it. It doesn't fit the screen. UX.
It's not anchored
scaling.
properly for PC.
Yep. The thing, but enjoying the game overall. So good job, guys.
I've been running maps and didn't even know I had to buy the other hero stuff. LOL, just mindlessly grinding like every other ARPG I play. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for proving my point. That's my list. It is ongoing. And yeah, I mean, if these, I mean, again, to me, seeing what other studios with money can do, I feel like these asks are like nothing. Like this is like sound settings autosave. Like when I hit tab, I have a map overlay. Like this is like, I feel like my asks are so little. You know, I'm not saying like get rid of the pet system. You know, feels like very little asks. Okay.
In comparison to a lot of ports, it's done pretty good. I will say that.
Oh no.
Oh, it's the best port so far.
Right. So good job, guys.
Yeah, like it's. I have the least to ask from it than I do the other ports.
I got thermal paste all over me.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go wash that off. It's gonna be.
I'm sure it's good for you.
Fine.
I'm sure it's good for you.
It's only known to cause cancer in California.
Okay, good. So I'm safe. Hey, by the way, Daphne, I'm going to be in Sacramento next week.
Are you?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, probably a good time to tell you guys. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I have a work meeting in Sacramento. So you guys are solo on Wednesday.
We're gonna get together. We have to.
I'll come to your house for the podcast.
Do it.
God.
Oh God! And now he just had a panic attack.
No, looking forward to it. We'll discuss it, but we gotta at least get together, get some lunch or whatever. But yeah,
I might. Cool. I think I have a 10 o'clock flight Thursday to back home. Wonder if we could do like breakfast before my flight or something like that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I know where we can go.
All right, this is going to end the podcast. Staring says more than a few UI changes need to happen on PC is the bottom line, and sweeping changes are being looked at. And since the PC release, we have come to understand what works on one platform may not work on another, and the different UI and input methods need to have different care taken to them in regards to what feels good to play and interact with. Yes, it's good to realize that now.
Yep.
The PC community, I will tell you this, Staring, I get the final word on this one. We normally are pretty ruthless, and we don't care about words, we care about actions. Diablo Immortal said, we stand by our monetization system. We don't give a crap about the player. Give us money. Undecember said, we're going to give us an updated Western release cash shop because we know the Korean market will not work in the West, and they gave us a worse monetization system. Torchlight Infinite right now started off rough, saying there was going to be no pay-to-win systems, and then there was, and since then, they have reeled it in. And they need to continue to reel it in and show us just how serious they are, not from their words, but from their actions. And if they continue to make the right decisions with their game, I'll continue to make good content for the game. I'll continue to stream the game, and many others will as well. And more people will come to the game because even though they've heard terrible things, they'll get addicted like so many of us. Those are my final words. Guilty, is that okay? That felt like I had a good thing going there for a second.
It was like that scene in Braveheart where he was given a speech.
Oh, I was thinking Independence Day when he's like, this'll be our Independence Day.
It wasn't quite Independence Day, but I'll give it Braveheart.
All right. That's not too bad. Buying the Torchlight Infinite Battle Pass tonight. Look at that. Okay, everybody. Daft is already gone. And as I said
Nope.
that, he
Still here.
reappeared. Now, This Week in Action Podcast 36, we are done. What we do now is we go film a bonus hour of this podcast where it gets a little spicy, where we are unrestricted. I don't know. We talk about a whole bunch of crap. All the likes, all the shares, all the subs, everything helps the channel. But if you want to take it one step further, check out the Patreon. It really is cool. You get in the VIP lounge on Discord. You get a special title. You get extra wheel entries every month. You get to chit chat with us. You get to check out that bonus hour, and you get to check out the blog post. Really is a good time. That's all I got. We are transferring over there now.
That Discord, come hang out. If you're not involved, just go there. I just linked it in chat.
Discord and Patreon are linked in chat.
Thank you, Staring.
Yep. Wonderful podcast, guys. Thanks, Staring. And a lot of PC-oriented changes, more so than UI, are coming as well as content surrounding Torchlight for the PC community are in the works. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Hey, I'm always looking for exclusive content or inside information. So let me know, because then I look cool on YouTube. We're done. We're 15 minutes over. Bye.